Get ready to embark on lucid journeys. Explore the Phillip Aisling multiverse.
All right, so welcome everyone to this deep dive. And today we're going to be talking about something pretty wild.
Yeah.
We're going to be jumping headfirst into Phillip Aisling's multiverse.
Have you ever had that feeling that, like, maybe what we experience day to day, maybe that isn't the only show in town?
Yeah.
Like, there could be, like entire worlds, whole other realities kind of humming just beneath the surface of what we usually perceive.
When we talk about lucid journeys, what are the big, recurring themes or ideas that we see in these excerpts?
Well, one thing that really jumps out is this connection between dreams and the possibility of interdimensional travel.
And I think one of the things that I found so compelling was this idea that dreaming, something we all do,
right,
could actually be something really significant.
Yeah, it's like a gateway to something bigger, something more.
So join us as we journey through the lucid multiverse of Phillip Aisling, where dreams are more than just dreams.
And one last thought for you. If our dreams are glimpses into other realities, what stories might be unfolding within us every night?
That's something to think about.
Yeah.
All right, so lucid dreaming, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're in a dream, but then bam, you realize you're dreaming, and it's happening right then. It's pretty wild. And guess what? It's not as far out there as you might think.
Yeah, no kidding. It's definitely something that, anyone can learn and experience with the right approach.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do today. We're diving deep, pun intended, into how you, dear listener, can start having lucid dreams. And to help us navigate this whole thing, we're going to look at the really incredible dream experiences of Phillip Aisling. His story really unfolds in a way that kind of gives us this roadmap,
Absolutely. It's like he's taking us by the hand and leading us through the world of dreams. And what's so great about Phillip's accounts is that they're not just like, okay, this happened and then this happened. He really captures the feeling of being in those dreams. The way he describes things makes you feel like you're right there with him.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like in his very first dream.
Right.
The one in that opulent hallway. He talks about the warmth, the light. And it's not just a fleeting image. It's like he's actually feeling those sensations, experiencing them in a really visceral way. And then there's the whole encounter with the metaphysician who seems to already know him. Right off the bat, it's like Phillip's mind is becoming more active, more aware, even within the dream state. What strikes you about these early experiences, in terms of how they set the stage?
I think what's really fascinating is how both the positive and the negative experiences, like the really fun ones, like the Mexican carnival dream, and then the scarier ones, like the underwater nightmare, they both kind of fuel his curiosity. He's not just like, whoa, weird dream. He wants to understand what's going on. He's even thinking about, maybe controlling his dreams. And I think a lot of us can relate to that, right? We've all had those dreams that just stick with you, that make you wonder about what's happening in your mind when you're asleep.
Oh, for sure. Dreams can be so powerful and mysterious. So that's exactly what we're going to explore today in this deep dive. Inspired by Phillip's journey, we're going to unpack the how-to, the nitty-gritty of how to become aware in your own dream world, how to actually have those lucid dreams.
Yeah, because it all starts with that, right? That shift in awareness.
It really does. And, Phillip actually gives us an example of this really early on during the Mexican carnival dream. He's in the middle of all this craziness, and he thinks to himself, even while I was dreaming, I could tell it was a dream, but still it felt so real. So even though he was still dreaming, there was this little flicker of recognition, like a part of him knew it wasn't real life. And that, my friends, that right there is the seed of lucidity. I'm curious, have you ever had an experience like that, where you're in a dream and something just feels off? Like a part of you knows it's not quite right.
Oh, absolutely. I think most people have had that happen at some point. It's like, that feeling when you're watching a movie and suddenly you notice a boom mic in the shot. I kind of breaks the illusion, right? And it's kind of similar with dreams. There's this moment where the dream logic, the way things work in the dream world, it just glitches for a second.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to tap into. That's the first step to cultivating lucidity, recognizing that you are, in fact, dreaming.
I like that analogy. It's like a glitch in the matrix of our minds. But it's also kind of funny, right? Because in dreams, we often just accept the most bizarre things without question. We're talking to animals, we're flying, we're doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and our sleeping brains are just like, yep, seems legit.
Exactly. It's like our internal logic just takes a vacation when we're asleep. But that's exactly what we need to work on. We need to train ourselves to go, hold on a minute, talking squirrels aren't usually part of my Tuesday afternoon.
Right. So how do we train our brains to do that? How do we get better at catching those glitches, those moments where the dream logic breaks down?
Well, it's interesting because the metaphysician in Philip's dreams, he talks about this thing called the first gate of dreaming. And basically, it's all about being aware that you are dreaming. It sounds so simple, right? But that's really the key. It's what separates a regular dream, where you're just kind of passively experiencing things, from a lucid dream, where you have the potential to actually participate, to make choices, to influence what happens.
Okay, so being aware is the key.
Yeah.
But how do we actually get there? How do we cultivate that awareness? Philip's experiences offer some really practical clues, I think. And one of the techniques that seems super helpful is this idea of reality testing.
Oh, absolutely. Reality testing is a great place to start. And it's something you can do in your everyday life, which is really cool. Like, think about Philip's green tongue after the lime-shaved ice. Obviously, that wouldn't happen in real life, right? Or the sunburn he got from being at the beach in his dream, even though he was actually indoors all day. These are what we call dream signs. They're like those little inconsistencies, those things that just wouldn't make sense in the waking world. And reality testing is all about actively looking for those signs.
Yeah, so we're basically looking for clues that we might be dreaming, even when we're awake. That seems kind of counterintuitive.
It might seem strange, but it's actually a really powerful technique. The idea is to make it a habit to ask yourself throughout the day, am I dreaming right now? And then you do a little test to check.
What kind of test? Give us some examples.
There are tons of different tests you can do. It could be something as simple as trying to push your finger through the palm of your other hand. In a dream, it might just go straight through. Or you could look at some text, like a word or a number, then look away and look back. In a dream, the text often changes or becomes distorted.
Oh, that's trippy. So guessing it's not just about doing the test right. It's about the intention behind it.
You got it. It's not just going through the motions. It's about genuinely questioning your reality each time you do the test. Because what you're doing is training your mind to be more aware, more discerning, even when you're awake. And that habit, that awareness, it can actually carry over into your dreams.
That's pretty amazing. It's like we're planting a seed in our minds, a seed that can sprout into lucidity when we're dreaming. And, this idea of intentionality, it kind of reminds me of what Lara was talking about with the dream masters, those individuals who could, consciously enter those dreamlike states. It suggests that this ability to become lucid, it's not just some random thing. It's a skill that we can actually cultivate.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about taking control of your own mind, both in waking life and in the dream world. And, another aspect of Philip's experiences that really points to this is his incredible dream recall. The detail he remembers from his dreams is remarkable. Like, he remembers the exact layout of that hallway, the specific games at the carnival. It's not just vague impressions. It's like he's got these high-definition memories of his dreams.
Which is something that a lot of people struggle with, right? You wake up and the dream is already fading away like like a Snapchat message or something.
Yeah.
So why is remembering our dreams so important for lucid dreaming? What's the connection there?
It's huge, actually, because by remembering your dreams, by paying attention to them, you start to recognize the patterns, the themes, the weird logic that's specific to your dream world. You start to see those inconsistencies, those things that wouldn't make sense in waking life. And the more you remember, the more likely you are to spot those inconsistencies while you're actually dreaming. And that's when the light bulb goes off and you realize, wait a minute, I'm dreaming.
It's like we're training our brains to become dream detectives. We're learning to spot the clues, the evidence that reveals the dream for what it is. Okay, so practical advice time. How do we get better at remembering our dreams? Because I think a lot of listeners are probably thinking, yeah, I wish I could remember more of my dreams.
The best way, hands down, is to keep a dream journal. It's a game changer. The trick is to do it as soon as you wake up, before you even get out of bed. Grab your journal and just start writing down everything you can remember, even if it's just fragments, little snippets. The act of writing it down sends a signal to your brain that those dreams are important, that they're worth remembering. And over time, you'll find that you can remember more and more detail. It's like working a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about making those dreams tangible, about bringing them into the waking world. Okay, so we've got reality testing and dream journaling. What else can we learn from Philip's experiences?
Well, there's another really cool technique that he kind of embodies without even realizing it. He has this moment where he says, I can't wait for tonight to see what I dream up next. He's actually expressing this sense of anticipation, this excitement about dreaming. And that, believe it or not, can actually influence our dreams.
Wait, so just being excited about dreaming can make a difference. How does that work?
It's all about intention. By consciously setting the intention before you go to sleep that you want to have a lucid dream, that you want to become aware in your dream, you're essentially increasing the likelihood that it will actually happen. It's like planting a seed in your subconscious mind.
So it's not just about hoping for a lucid dream. It's about actively deciding that you want to have one.
Exactly. And there are different ways to do this. You can try repeating affirmations to yourself as you're falling asleep. Like you can say something like, "Tonight I will realize I am dreaming." Or you can visualize yourself being lucid in a dream, doing a reality check, and having that moment of awareness.
It's like giving your brain a task for the night. Like, hey brain, tonight's mission, lucid dreaming. Don't mess it up.
Exactly. You're priming your mind for the experience. And another thing about Philip's dreams is that they're incredibly vivid, whether they're positive or negative. And sometimes the intensity of a dream, like the emotions we feel in a dream, can actually trigger lucidity.
So like if you're having a really scary dream or a really exciting dream, that can sometimes make you more aware that you're dreaming.
Right. It's like those strong emotions, they can kind of jolt you out of that passive dream state and into a higher level of awareness. It's like suddenly you're more present, more alert, and you start to question what's happening.
That's fascinating. So we've got all these practical techniques inspired by Philip's experiences, but then there's also this more philosophical layer, right? Like the metaphysician's ideas about dreams being glimpses into alternate instances of reality. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It really is. And while it's not a technique in itself, this kind of perspective can completely change how you approach lucid dreaming. If you start to believe that your dreams are more than just random neural activity, that they actually offer you insights into other aspects of reality, it can make the whole practice way more meaningful.
It becomes less about just having cool dream experiences and more about exploration, about self-discovery.
Exactly. It's like you're opening a door to a whole other world, a world that can teach you things about yourself that you might never discover in waking life. And, the metaphysician also talks about this thing called the awakening. It's like that initial breakthrough into lucidity, that moment where you truly realize you're dreaming for the first time.
So is there anything we can do to try and trigger that awakening? Like, is there a specific technique, or is it more about just being ready for it when it happens?
That's a good question. And honestly, I don't think there's a magic bullet for triggering the awakening. It seems to be something that happens when the conditions are right, when you've developed a certain level of awareness and intention. But knowing that it's a possibility, that it's something that people experience, can be really encouraging. It's like it gives you something to strive for, a goal to keep in mind as you're practicing those techniques.
It's like knowing that there's another level to the game, even if you haven't reached it yet. It keeps you motivated.
Right. And the metaphysician also emphasizes the power of expectation. He says, dreamers can do anything. And I think that's a really important point. Approaching lucid dreaming with a sense of confidence, with the belief that you can actually do it, can make a huge difference.
It's that whole mind over matter thing, right?
Yeah.
If you believe you can do it, you're more likely to succeed.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a positive and expectant mindset. Because ultimately, lucid dreaming is about taking control of your own mind. And that starts with believing that you have the power to do so.
So it's not just about the techniques themselves. It's about the belief behind them.
Exactly. And, speaking of tools and systems, Philip also encounters this really intriguing object, the Dreamer's Dictionary. It's like this ancient guide to the dream world with all these symbols and interpretations. It seems like a really powerful tool for understanding and navigating the dream world.
It's like a dream encyclopedia.
Yeah.
But Philip's just starting to understand how to use it, right?
Right. He's still figuring it out. But I think what it highlights for us, for those of us who are starting our own lucid dreaming journey, is the importance of paying attention to the details of our dreams, specifically the recurring symbols and themes that pop up.
So it's like each of us has our own personal dreamer's dictionary inside of us.
Exactly. And the way to tap into it is through that dream journal we were talking about. By keeping a detailed record of your dreams, you start to notice the patterns, the connections, the things that are unique to your dream world.
It's like we're creating our own personalized map of our inner landscape. That's a pretty cool way to think about it.
It really is, and it can be incredibly insightful, because sometimes the things that seem random or nonsensical in our dreams, they can actually reveal a lot about our subconscious minds, our fears, our desires, the things we're grappling with in our waking lives.
So don't dismiss the weird stuff. Embrace the weirdness.
Exactly. It's all part of the journey.
Okay, so to bring it all back around, for our listeners who are ready to dive into lucid dreaming tonight, what are the key takeaways from Philip's journey and all the insights we've discussed? What are the things they should focus on?
The most important things are awareness, dream recall, and intention. So practice reality testing throughout your day, start that dream journal tonight, and before you fall asleep, set that clear intention that you want to become lucid. Those are the foundational practices. And remember, be patient with yourself. It takes time and effort to develop this skill.
And don't forget, even the most bizarre dream elements, they can hold clues to understanding yourself better. So pay attention to them, explore them, see what they have to teach you.
Absolutely. Dreams are a powerful tool for self-discovery, and lucid dreaming is like having a key to unlock that power.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on, dear listener. What if lucid dreaming isn't just about having fun and exploring these incredible dream worlds? What if it's also about unlocking a deeper understanding of ourselves, our potential, our connection to something bigger? What might we discover if we could consciously step into those inner worlds and explore them with intention?
And remember, you have the power to create your own dreamer's dictionary. Start noticing the symbols and themes in your dreams. Record them, reflect on them. You might be surprised at the insights you gain.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of lucid dreaming. We hope you're feeling inspired to start exploring your own dreamscapes.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.